T-minus 10, 9, 8,
The clock is
7.
operating. We're underway.
Tranquility Base here.
Endeavor, go at throttle up.
Should not need to do that. It should just come right out.
Okay. Okay, it does.
Okay? Using the
Removed.
copy. Using the bell drive lever tool, you can move the bell to the aft position.
The aft closed position.
That's correct. Aft closed position. Okay, check forward white band is visible.
Stand by. Forward white band is visible.
Copy.
And keeping our eye on it. I don't see anything leaking.
Excellent. And Wills, if you see any leak, we're comparing this leak to what you saw when you first did the SPID on EVA-1.
Okay, you got my helmet on it?
Yep.
Helmet cam. Okay, I see a couple little snowflakes, but nothing like it was essentially like the first time we threw it, last time I mentioned there's a couple little snowflakes, but I don't see anything leaking around the white band like last time.
We copy and
I
we
don't know if you could pick up those snowflakes.
Yep, we can see them in the
Right
helmet cam.
forward. Okay, here they start to come out now by the white band, just little snowflakes.
Copy. Okay, Wills, we're going to pick up with vent tool routing.
Okay.
So you'll need to retrieve the MUT end effector from crew lock bag number 1.
That's it.
And then, Wills, once you have that, you'll be riding up to the nozzle install position.
This is all good news.
Okay, and Oscar, I'm leaving the forward part of the SPID in, correct?
Checking. Yes, Wills, we'll leave the forward SPID installed, so we'll need to stow the aft SPID there.
Wheelock has closed the 1.5-inch quick disconnect for this final fluid connector to the pump module, the M3 connector that spewed ammonia back on Saturday, but today we're only noticing intermittent snowflakes as they were described from the male side of the connector. So with that, Wheelock is going to press ahead and set up the vent tool that will eventually vent the residual ammonia from the system and from the pump module itself. You can see some of the flakes of ammonia coming from the connector point to the pump module, but this is not considered significant and in no way is what we saw on Saturday.
You can see that.
The thermal systems officer currently monitoring data in that final connector, but so far it looks good despite the presence of some flakes of ammonia that you see out of the helmet camera from flight engineer Doug Wheelock. And the team is now considering whether or not Tracy Caldwell-Dyson even needs to close the 1/4-inch DDCU quick disconnect at the interface of the S1, S3 interface. The overall reduction in pressure through the nitrogen tank assembly that was accomplished Monday night into early Tuesday morning may have done the trick in isolating enough ammonia upstream from this final M3 connector to the pump module that the DDCU quick disconnect may not be required. We're standing by for word on that.
You said Oscar, right?
That's correct. Crew lock bag number 1.
Okay, Okay, and Oscar, do you have my helmet cam on the M3 connector now?
Yes, we do.
You see right down here, similar to the, doesn't appear as bad as the second time, but it's now starting to flake off and come out from underneath the connector itself.
We copy and we can see.
Okay. Okay, Shannon, I need to come later about 30 centimeters or so and stand by for that motion.
Okay, I'm entering mode and standing by.
Okay, the spit is secured with a wire tie.
More good news, the decision coming down that we do not have to close the quick disconnect at the DDCU cold plate. The M3 connector is considered by the thermal systems officer to be solid.
Okay, Shannon, about 30 centimeters nadir, please.
Copy, about 30 centimeters nadir down on the hand controller. Starting motion.
Good motion.
Be good motion.
Okay, stop motion there.
Stopping motion.
And just a little bit starboard, about 20 centimeters.
Okay, copy, a little bit starboard, right on the hand controller. Starting motion.
Once again, Doug Wheelock has closed the quick disconnect to the final fluid connector hooked up to the failed pump module, that being the M3 connector. Just a few snowflakes were seen emanating from the male side of that connector, but the thermal systems officer says they have a good M3 connector closed now. As a result, no operations will be required to further close the quarter-inch disconnect at the interface of the S1, S3 trusses. That being at a position where the DC to DC converter unit for the cold plate for that particular portion of the cooling system for the truss was located.
Is it compact?
Yes, Oscar, you got combat.
Copy. Hey, Wills and Tracy, we got good news for you guys. Looks like the female side on M3 is good, so we will we will not be doing the DDCU QD ops. And Wills,
that's great news.
It is.
It's awesome news. And so, Wills, we believe we want you to go ahead and continue on with the venting setup. We'll have more words for you in a minute. And Tracy, if you can go ahead and reinstall that booty.
It works.
Yeah, I did notice, Oscar, it's, in fact, it looks like the leak is pretty much subsided now. I was thinking maybe it was just whatever was left in the connector.
That's awesome. That's even better news.
It's not near as bad as it was the other night, so.
We'll stand by. We're discussing more what we want to do, whether we want to vent now or go ahead and demate M3.
Okay. Standing by.
And so, Wills, we may end up
Oscar, that booty is...
The booty's reinstalled?
Yes.
And Tracy, can you confirm that there is none of the QD metal showing?
Bye. Okay. Okay, I can confirm that.
I copy, and I see through your helmet cam, and it looks good. And Tracy, we're going to leave the seated cart here. We'll clean that up on a later EVA. So if you want, you can head on back into the pump module, and we'll see if we got anything for you to do when you get back to the pump module.
Okay, good work.
One hour, 44 minutes into today's spacewalk. So far, so good.
I'm going to go ahead and get the vent release tool, heat release tool back out.
I think that's a good call. Sorry we didn't get to you before you got it stowed.
Oh, that's
The
okay.
fourth and final fluid connector, the M3 connector that leaked on Saturday, halting the spacewalker's ability. Halting the spacewalker's ability to remove the failed pump module from the S1 truss. That quick disconnect has closed, and we are seeing a solid M3 connector. And we're standing by for further words on whether or not we can press ahead with the demating of that connector without first venting the pump module itself. That will save residual ammonia that is trapped upstream from the connector.
And Oscar, as you're discussing there, also just qualitatively, the bail was really smooth, very uniform. I didn't notice any kind of galling or unusual rubbing on the QD. It was a smooth, uniform throw to the bail closed position.
We copy, Wheels. And we did notice how easily it went to the closed position.
Roger.
And Wheels, FYI, while the discussion's going on, I've put the brakes on.
Okay. And Shannon, just as a heads up, if we go back to M3, I'll need about 20 centimeters port and about 30 zenith.
Copy.
Wheels, we have a go to demate M3. So let me know when you're in position. I have your words for you.
Okay, copy. I'll need the arm just for a couple of minutes.
Copy,
Okay,
you have the
Shannon,
call.
20 centimeters. Okay, 20 centimeters port, 30 zenith.
Okay, copy. 20 port, 30 zenith, and I'm entering mode now. All right, I'm ready, and I'm going to start with the port left on the hand controller. Starting motion.
Good motion.
Copy, good motion.
More good news. No manual vent of the pump module now required.
Stop motion.
Since the lines have evacuated to a safe configuration, and the green light has been given for Doug Wheelock to demate the M3 connector, the final fluid connector, from the failed pump module.
Good motion.
Good motion.
Okay, stop motion there.
Motion stopped.
Okay, that's good.
All right, I'll put break. Back to you, Oscar.
Copy, Shannon. So, Wills, are you ready to demate this bad boy?
I think so. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Once the M3 connector is demated from the pump module,
Okay.
work then will begin on closing another connector called the M2 connector that was demated on Saturday and hooked up to a pump module jumper box. The net effect of closing the M2 connector on the pump module jumper box will be to
Go for the
enable the quick disconnect and the jumper box itself to be vented prior to Sunday's spacewalk. the third spacewalk. That will save time in the reconnection of the spare pump module back in place and to reconnect the various fluid connections to the spare pump module that currently resides on a stowage platform outside the International Space Station.
So you let me starboard a little bit?
Yeah, take me starboard about 4 centimeters. I just want to make sure I got a good envelope with this thing.
Copy, getting into mode.
And Oscar, I don't know if you got a good helmet cam view there. It looks like, it appears that the leak is completely stopped.
We copy, and we do have a good view.
All right, Wills, I'm ready to move you starboard.
Beautiful, thanks.
All right, right on the hand controller, starting motion.
Good motion. And stop motion.
Once the M3 is disconnected, electrical inhibits will be put in place by the electrical systems officer here in Mission Control to set the stage for the disconnection of 5 electrical and data cables holding the pump module in place.
Okay, it's a little tight coming off of there, Oscar.
We see that.
Okay. Got a good forward white band. Trying to get uniform pull on either side. Okay. That in and not play nice again.
Hey, Bill?
Yes.
546. Your helmet.
Where's that? Wills, I got some words for you.
Okay, go ahead.
So we believe there may be ice in there that's keeping it from releasing, so you've got to go to use the stub of the QD to move this QD to left to right to try and shake some of that ammonia ice out of there. And can we also confirm that the button is up?
DC, do you have a visual on the, yes, the button,
I do.
The button is up and can't
And
be
I can,
depressed.
yes,
I
I
see.
can confirm that.
Okay.
And Wills, we believe you might want to shake on further aft on the stub, and you've got to go to shake violently. That's the words I was given.
Okay.
In all directions. We didn't tell the guys inside to hold on when you did that.
Stand by. Bill, be advised the top of your helmet is resting up against one of these QDs. I believe it's the M1. Okay, and I'm trying to keep it out of your helmet, but just be aware.
Okay. Thank you.
I could try to get my BRT up here again.
Wheels, we'd like you to try squeezing the trigger to see if that helps release. Yeah, we see not much.
Back test. It did come back a little bit. The white line, anyway. I think if we keep looking, Oscar, we'll get the white line is almost not visible now.
So you do see some movement, okay?
Well, it's got to be because the forward white line is about gone now. So.
Copy.
There you go.
Yep, see it. Good news.
Here, my Wheels, I can grab a hold of it down here. I'll pull it.
Okay. Oh, there you can see.
Yep, I see.
Oscar, trying to get a good view.
Yep, and Will, if you can give us an inspection of both sides, please.
After that. I think I can angle the female end up to DC. Do you have a hand on the M3?
Not yet, I'm trying.
Okay. So Oscar can see. Can you see inside of there, Oscar, with a helmet cam?
No, and that's okay, Wills. We don't need to see.
Okay, I can see. There's just a little along the teeth and the inside of the valve. There's just frozen ammonia. It's slowly flaking off, and but nothing leaking out. It looks like it's just residual from before the valve was closed. So.
Copy. Okay, Tracy,
it looks like everything's in good shape. But
I copy. And Tracy,
yeah.
you'll need to retrieve from crew lock bag number 1, the jettison storage bag.
So when in doubt, brute force overcomes everything as the M3 connector is finally demated from the failed pump module 1 hour 56 minutes into today's spacewalk. All good news. Electrical inhibits now being put in place to set the stage for the demating of 5 electrical and data cables that will be followed by the loosening and removal of 4 mechanical bolts holding this failed pump in place.
Minute rates there, Dr. Moynihan. 30 centimeters.
Copy, about 30 centimeters. Starting motion.
Tools and tethers, ingress aid clear.
Thanks. Here we go. Starting motion.
Good motion.
Copy, good motion.
At the robotics workstation in the Destiny laboratory, Shannon Walker applying a deft touch to the Canadarm2 as she carefully moves Doug Wheelock, who is planted in a foot restraint at the end of the arm, into the correct position to work on the closure of this valve on the M2 connector that is hooked up to the pump module jumper box.
Station starboard, right on the hand controller. Starting motion.
I'm estimating about, it's good motion, probably about 30 centimeters or so.
Be good motion, about 30 centimeters.
Okay, stop motion there.
Stopping motion.
Okay. All right, Oscar, I've got the jumper box between my mini workstation and my suit.
I copy. And Wills, if you one suggestion from Mr. Beaver is if you don't need to remove the jettison bag all the way, that may save some effort here. So just Tracy, if you can reach, you can start demate of the electrical connectors, and we have a go to demate all of them. So J1 through J5 can be demated if you have access.
Okay, so you don't need me to assist Wheels.
Well, you're close by. We could.
Yeah, Tracy, it's on Will's
Okay.
call it as he needs you.
Okay. I am at J1. I have a go to disconnect.
You have a go to demate all of them. J1 through J5.
Okay,
all
it works. It works. J1's disconnected and it's inside.
Copy. J1 demated. And can you give us... well, never mind.
Caldwell Dyson already 1/5 of the way through the demating of 5 electrical and data connections to the failed pump module.
Go ahead.
Well, I can give you an inspection of the cable, and when the pump, once I get the cables, I can go back over and tell you about the pump itself.
That's a
the
good
pins
call.
on the pump.
Very good call.
Okay. But the cable right now, everything on J1 looks good. Good EMI band, the pins are good, and no FOD.
Copy.
One for J2.
Okay, Oscar, I've got the M2 and the M4 exposed here. It's ready to work on.
J2 looks good.
Okay, Wills, if you're ready, we're
cool.
working on F45, which is the larger QD. And we're going to close that valve.
Okay, I'm ready on it.
Okay, check aft white band is visible.
Visible.
Check the D.
Well, Caldwell Dyson continues to demate electrical and data connections from the failed pump module. Doug Wheelock, you can see in his helmet cam view, about to close the valve on an M2 connector on a pump module jumper box. That will be vented, that box will be, prior to Sunday's 3rd spacewalk.
Okay, you got to go to...
Yeah, verified. Yeah. Okay. Okay, it can be depressed.
Okay, you can move the bail to the closed position
Coming out.
and push the button.
Okay, I got to get the bail driver tool to get it over center.
Copy.
Hey, Oscar, am I going... Can I start getting a tether around M3 to pull it out of the way?
And Tracy, you have a go for that.
Okay, Oscar, forward white band is visible.
Copy.
Valve is full closed.
Check the DTED button is up.
It's up.
Okay, stand by.
Verified.
Yeah, Oscar, how about I use a wire tie?
You're okay? We're okay with that, Tracy. Okay, Wills, go ahead and reinstall the jettison storage bag.
Reinstall it. Copy. TC?
Yeah.
Just see if you could do a yaw right. I don't know if you can reach this wire tie. If you could do one wrap around M2 just to secure the storage bag. If you're able?
Let's see. I've got a tether.
Get one wrap around there. Thank you.
Okay.
Awesome. Work. tie is up in here. That's actually I got it wire tied to the caps up here at the top.
Okay.
Okay. All right, Oscar, that's complete.
Okay, Wills. So our next step is we're going to go ahead and take M3, and we're going to tie it up to M2 using a wire tie.
Okay.
And if you need to maneuver for that, let me know.
Yeah, that may be best work as a team, because actually I think Tracy's got better access to it.
We copy.
TC.
Your call.
Oh, there we go. Looks like TC's on it already.
What am I doing? I'm not going to get a wire tie around M3.
Oh, yes. That wire tie you got in your hands?
Yeah.
We need to wire tie M2 and M3 together.
Okay.
Which should be right where your hands are, right there.
Yeah, I can do that.
Perfect. Thank you.
The M2 connector on the pump module jumper box, that valve now closed by Doug Wheelock. And he is now proceeding to wire tie the recently demated M3 connector, that was the stubborn one, to the M2, just to get it out of the way and make sure it's in a secure configuration prior to Sunday's third spacewalk. So far, so good. The crew running well ahead of schedule, thanks to some clever improvisation on today's spacewalk and the ability to close the valve on the M3 fluid connector while it was still hooked up to the failed pump module prior to its being demated. Everything going very smoothly and now by the book, as electrical and data connections are also being demated from the failed pump module.
Trying to get the wire tie out around
Now, the whole bundle, kind of the big picture on this whole thing, the whole bundle should be pulled out of the way so the pump module can be removed, correct?
Exactly. We have M1 going to a separate fish stringer, which when you guys are ready, I'll give you some words on that.
Copy that.
Once the electrical and data connections are demated by Tracy Caldwell Dyson, that work is underway. The next phase of today's work will be the breaking of torque on 4 bolts on the failed pump module, mechanically holding the 780-pound component in place on the S1 truss.
Okay. M2 and M3 are tied together. Now we're going to put M1 on its own fish stringer, you said?
Yep, M1's going to be on its own fish stringer, and we've got some options there that we tried in the pool that worked pretty well.
Yeah.
It's basically.
Can I tell you what I think might work right now?
Sure.
I got this fish stringer that's going to grid F. I'd like to just take it off of the cedar cart and stretch it from this whatever this short handrail is down to the adjustable I got on M1 already. Cool.
And that's fine, Tracy. Just long as they are clear of the pump module removal.
Yeah, this will be the best option.
Okay, and Oscar, I could probably go ahead with the other electrical connectors, correct, while Tracy's tying that off?
Yep, you can do that.
Okay, okay.
And we'll...
Kevin, you ready? Go ahead, Oscar. Go ahead, Oscar.
Stand by, we're talking.
Okay, okay.
Actually, Wills, we'd like to go ahead and get you working on breaking bolt torque. So we need you to get the torque multiplier.
After that. Okay, copy. Pre-lock bag.
Bag 1, we believe.
Do it. Bag 1. Yes, that's it. Okay. Okay, Shannon, if you're ready, I'll need a little GCA.
Ready when you are.
Okay. You could bring me station mate, or I'll need a...
Continuing to work with great efficiency today, Doug Wheelock and Tracy Caldwell-Dyson operating in tandem around the S1 truss of the International Space Station. Caldwell-Dyson continuing to demate electrical and data connections to the failed pump module. Doug Wheelock now will begin work to break torque on 4 bolts, mechanically latching the failed pump module in the slot on the S1 truss.
Bend it up a little bit, yeah. I'll be in position where I can mess with that here momentarily.
Okay.
Okay, stop motion there, Shannon.
Motion.
Okay. And let me know when you're ready to bend it up, TC.
You know what I'm going to do, Wills? I'm going to move this adjustable down toward the end of the by the QD so we can get leverage on it. But not too far because I don't want to get near that weld. Which I can't. Okay, so
Bend it up a little bit.
that's M2.
Okay.
That's good. Good. Stand by.
I think it's out of the envelope, yeah.
I'm going to cinch it with an... Okay. That ought to work, huh? So,
I think that's clear, yeah.
Oscar, I got the fish stringer going from the handrail, and then one of the hooks on the fish stringer is going to the hook of the adjustable that I put around the line. And now both large hooks or the fish stringer are on the small handrail. So,
Copy,
well
Tracy.
anyway. And I can see now inside at the pins, inside J1 and J2. My light and J1 pins look good. I don't see any fried, but I can see the EMI band is good. And likewise J2 from 3.5 feet away looks good.
Okay, so I copied J1 and J2 are demated, and you see good checks. And actually, I can see them in your helmet cam.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the light shining right on it, and the pins all look like they're reflecting light in the same direction. That's a good sign.
Okay. Hey, guys, big picture, once you guys are ready, what we'd like to do is go ahead and do an ammonia inspection, like we did at the end of EVA 1. So when you guys are in position, you'll do that. Will's next thing we have, which you're already working on, is the brake torque on the bolts, and Tracy will continue on with you disconnecting electrical connectors. So when you guys are in position, if y'all can go ahead and give us an inspection of each other's suits for ammonia.
Okay, I'm just going to lean back here, TC. I don't know if you can kind of do a yaw right, and I'll take a look at you.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that now.
And remember, we're looking for big particles that are blocking the mesh of the suit. You'll need to look from different angles.
Roger that. Okay.
Your arms and shoulders look clean.
Yeah, I've got your right side looks good. I'll need to get give me a little more yaw. I don't know if that's possible for you.
Not while in DOT, but I can release that.
Actually, if you could just do a pitch forward, I could see the top of your visor's clear. Top part of your ECM is clear. Arms are clear.
I'm looking at your arms and your shoulders, and Your visor is the top of your DC. Everything looks clean.
Okay. Okay, Oscar. Looks like both EMUs are clean. We don't see any discoloration, no waxy build-up or misuniformity of the threads on the suit.
I copy, Wills. That's good news. Wills, let me know when you're positioned, and I'll have your steps for the torque multiplier.
Okay, copy that.
And
So, big picture, Oscar, you're going to have me...
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tracy.
Sorry, Oscar. I just was wondering if I should stay in position or come off this handrail.
Yeah, Tracy, you'll have, if I copy right, you have J1 and J2 are demated. You have 3 more, J3, 4, and 5, which are nader, so you may need to come back around to the other work site.
So you're going to have me do the electrical. I copy.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, Shannon, if you're ready,
I'm ready.
I'm going to need a GCA, and here's what I need, like, overall. I need to come towards about close to a meter, and then I'm going to need to come into structure, so station aft about a half a meter.
Okay, I copy. Port about a meter and into the structure some. So I'll start with port. Left on the hand controller. Starting motion.
And Oscar, as we're doing this, that's good motion, Shannon. The sequence of the bolts, I don't have that on my cup checklist.
No sequence required on braking torque.
Okay, copy that.
This is Mission Control Houston. Just over 2.5 hours into today's spacewalk. Tracy Caldwell-Dyson and Doug Wheelock working very well in tandem. Caldwell-Dyson continuing the demating of electrical and data connections, 5 of those from the failed pump module. Doug Wheelock beginning work to break torque on 4 bolts that mechanically attach the failed pump module to the S1 truss of the International Space Station. They've just concluded a quick check of each other's suits, finding no residual ammonia. The only flakes that were seen today were at the point at which the valve was closed on the bulky M3 connector to the failed pump module. But the M3 was demated a short time ago and wire tied in place. All of the fluid connections now demated from that pump module, which will be removed today and stowed on a payload attachment bracket on the mobile base system, setting the stage for the installation of the spare pump module in its place on Sunday during the 3rd spacewalk.
Okay. No, you're good right there, TC.
Okay.
You ready for brakes on wheels? Or
Yeah, go brakes on.
brakes coming on. Over to you, Oscar.
Okay, Oscar, installing on bolt 4 first.
Copy, bolt 4.
And Oscar, I still have a go for all 3 connectors, right?
Absolutely. You got to go for the 3 remaining connectors.
Okay, locked on the bolt 4.
Copied. And did you lock the handle on the torque multiplier?
Yes, the handle is locked as well.
Copy.
Yep, did a little pull test, and the handle is locked and in position.
Copy. And verify that the torque multiplier is in neutral, the drive.
The view from Doug Wheelock's helmet camera as he breaks torque on the 4 bolts that are holding the pump module in place on the S1 truss.
I think I'm going to
The bolts actually will be removed a short time from now through the use of a pistol grip tool.
Once again, if you could take me forward just a little bit, I just want to make sure I'm clear of TC.
Oh, sorry about that, Bill. I can move down.
Okay, what was that?
That was Sasha.
Oh, Sasha. Okay, Shannon, if you can bring me...
Stand by that.
Yeah, copy.
Tell you what, Wills, I'll just,
Well, I think I need to come forward anyway to get better access to my PGT.
wait just a second. Do I have time to do this socket swap, Bill?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't want to rush this, so let me look.
Yeah, take your time on that.
No, I'll do this in a second. I'll look at your...
Oh, slow is faster on that one.
I know, that's why I'm going to go look at your first. And...
That's it.
I'm not really sure how I can see that if I must go to the other side of you. Your back is blocking my view.
If I do a lean back.
Well, I'll see you. So,
Okay, no problem.
No. Wait. I know where to go.
And TC, as you're doing that, you're going to doing the bolts, I think, and you're going to be PRTing the right here where my right hand is.
Uh-huh.
This bag is out of your way, I think, yeah. I just want to make sure we're on the standoff here, so.
Okay. You can see both your heels, and they look good. Look good.
Okay, great.
And, yeah, I see the bag, and I think that'll be fine.
Okay. I would ask her, that the tension tool bag is stowed.
I copy, Wills. I show you ready to go down and grab the adjustable grapple bar. While you're maneuvering, at some point, if you can give me a glove check. Any point during that maneuver.
Okay, I'll definitely do that. And what I've got is on this vent extension tool bag, I've got one of the integral adjustable tethers to the standoff of the handrail on the nitrogen tank. And then I've got the other side wrapped around handrail 3204.
Copy, Wills. And we can see it in your helmet cam. Looks good.
Okay. And Shannon, if you're ready.
Okay, Wills, I'm getting into mode. This is a sort of a several-step process. First, I'll bring you away from the truss, station forward for about 2 meters, and then we'll do an OCAS in which your head will be rolling to the right over towards the ESP, and then I'll bring you in down there.
I hope my body rolls with my head, but
Well, yeah.
okay. Before we do that, Shannon, could you bring me port about 30 centimeters, and I'm going to lash down the other end of this bag so it stays out of TC's way when she does this unbolting.
Okay, copy. About 30 centimeters port, left on the hand controller.
Roger.
And I'm ready to start motion when you are.
I'm ready.
All right, starting motion.
Good motion.
Copy, good motion.
This is just going to be a little bit cleaner, I think, for TC. And you're just a little further. Okay, stop motion there.
Motion.
Okay, that should be out of your way, TC.
Thank you.
Give you access and okay, Shannon, I'm ready to go. Let me just recheck tools and tethers clear. The truss. BGT switch suspension is installed. Bayonet's locked. It's ready to me. I'm ready to go.
Okay, copy. Ready to go. So we're going station forward, push on the hand controller about 2 meters. Starting motion.
KTC, I'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, Will. Bye, safe.
Okay. Shannon, let's see that golden arm.
Right.
I really can't in good conscience call this spacewalking. This is awesome. Thanks, Shannon. And I see the grapple fixture already.
Okay, stopping motion. Stand by for.
His feet affixed to a portable foot restraint at the end of Canadarm2. Doug Wheelock is being maneuvered by robotic arm operator Shannon Walker in place along the truss of the International Space Station to retrieve an adjustable grapple bar that will be attached to the failed pump module. This is the method of maneuvering the 780-pound pump module away from the S1 truss of the International Space Station to a payload bracket for stowage, for temporary stowage on the mobile base system once the bolts are released from the failed pump module. Earlier today, the final fluid connector, the M3 connector that leaked and provided trouble for the spacewalkers on Saturday was finally demated. All 5 electrical and data connections also having been demated by Tracy Caldwell Dyson a short time ago. The next step for her will be to release 3 out of the 4 bolts mechanically attaching the pump module to the S1 truss. A 4th bolt will be released a short time from now.
you doing, TC?
I'm doing okay.
Okay.
And Houston, I've got my targets loaded, making sure you're good with them.
In this view, Tracy Caldwell Dyson at the bottom of your screen is in the process of stowing the 5 electrical and data cables within the lattice work of the S1 truss of the International Space Station, essentially providing shade for those connectors between now and the 3rd spacewalk to be conducted no earlier than Sunday to install the spare pump module in the S1 truss. And you can see Doug Wheelock biding his time for the moment at the end of the station's robotic arm, the Canadarm2, in this panoramic view down the starboard side of the International Space Station.
Yeah, Tracy, that looks good to us.
Oh,
I like how you stuck it inside that little open loop of the MLI.
That's pretty convenient, huh?
Yeah, worked out great. That was very clever.
Oh, cool. Glad you guys like that and didn't want me to redo it.
And Tracy,
okay, I'm going to swap my...
Okay, I didn't catch if you had done the swap. Yep, you need to get the 5/8" socket.
Okay. Yeah, so what's our...
Providing a bit of size perspective, you can see the spacewalkers down the starboard truss of the International Space Station, dwarfed by the massive modules and other structures of the International Complex as it orbits 220 miles above the Earth.
Oh, that's great.
Yep, and we're actually ahead of the timeline.
Woohoo!
And Wheels, right now you're over South America.
Oh, beautiful.
What time is it there in Houston?
The space station is traveling 220 miles over Sao Paulo, Brazil, moving from northwest to southeast.
Okay, Will, you're almost there.
Okay, I see it coming toward me. Or me coming toward it.
Okay, Will, you're there. We're going to readjust our cameras, and then I'll bring you down and up, or down and over to the ESP.
Okay.
Oscar, I got the 5/8 on my PT. Good full test.
Copy, good pull test.
So far, that's been the scariest thing I've done.
Okay, let me know when you're in position, and I have your PGT settings for you. We're doing bolts 1, 2, and 4, not 3.
Copy one. Let you know. Out the caddy back inside of the left side one.
And Tracy, for the 2 Zenith connectors, can you confirm that you had those stuck down in the bay to shade them partially also?
I will try to confirm that.
Okay, thank you.
Don't remember if they were.
Tracy Caldwell Dyson basically tucking in into the shaded structure within the lattice work of the S1 truss, the 5 electrical and data cables to provide the proper thermal conditioning for those connectors that will be hooked up on Sunday during the 3rd spacewalk in this sequence of events to the spare pump module that will be removed from its stowage platform adjacent to the Quest airlock at the beginning of the next spacewalk of this suite of spacewalks designed to restore the full cooling capability for the International Space Station.
J1 is the one that we may be doing an RPCM check, so that's the one we want to make sure is not up against structure.
Okay.
And Will, I'm almost ready. I'll be doing some nadir down on the hand controller, followed by station aft pull on the hand controller.
Okay, copy. That makes sense, too.
Whew, good. And I'm ready for motion when you are.
I'm ready.
Okay, starting motion. Starting with nadir. And a little station aft coming in.
Enjoying a panoramic view of the South Atlantic, Doug Wheelock continuing at the end of the station's robotic arm, while on the lower left-hand side of your screen, Tracy Caldwell Dyson making her way back to the failed pump module at the S1 truss of the complex to begin work to release 3 out of the 4 mechanical bolts structurally holding the pump module in place. 3 hours, 23 minutes into today's spacewalk, the crew continuing to run ahead of schedule.
Looks real nice, Shannon.
Okay, I think we're there.
Okay.
And Doug Wheelock now in place to begin work to retrieve the adjustable grapple bar that will be affixed to the failed pump module to move it from its current location in the S1 truss over to a payload fixture on the mobile base system where it will be parked indefinitely.
Reminder, you want to be careful of the target pin and the grapple shaft, and you're going to release the single bolt side. And then remember, the other side of the grapple bar has the 2 pins that are held in with a just a soft dot.
Okay, I see. It's just 2 turns, I think, on this, if I'm correct.
It'll be 2 to 4 turns.
Okay.
Hey, Oscar?
Go ahead, Tracy.
First, the J1 and J2 are out of the way and they're shaded now, and they have MOI and the JSC bags covering them up.
Right, and we saw what you did. That looked good. So let me know when you're ready for your PGT settings for release of bolts 1, 2, and 4, not 3.
Okay. Copy, not 3. Quick question. Can be BRT to this pump.
Yes, you can BRT to the.
No, wait a minute.
Oh, the NTA. Is that what you're getting ready to ask?
That's a better idea, I think. Sorry, how I'm going to get the bolt 4. I guess I can convert it relative.
And Tracy, just a heads up on other stuff we have to do is we'll also need to get all the bags off the front of the pump module and release these 3 bolts. You can do it in any order. It's your call.
Okay, let me, how about I get the bags off of it first?
Copy. Sounds like a good plan.
Okay. I'm going to go starboard with them. This way.
We're checking.
And we'll just want to know if this looks like a good position for you or if I'm going to need to adjust.
I think it's going to be, Oscar, what's the torque on the, I'm going to have to do a little bit of a strange access with the PGT, but as long as the torque isn't so high, I think it's going to be fine.
3.8 foot-pounds. You'll be at an alpha 2.
Okay.
So it's low torque.
Okay. Okay, got it. This will be fine, Shannon.
Putting the brakes on.
Okay.
Problem's all yours, Oscar.
Tracy, starboard with the bags is good.
Okay. Look.
And Wheels, before we get into this, can I get a quick glove check from you?
Absolutely. Put my PGT back. Over. Good glove check, EV1.
And we saw in your helmet cam, they look good. And Wheels, your settings are alpha 2, counterclockwise 2.
Alpha 2, counter 2.
That's correct. 2 to 4 turns.
This won't pop out, Oscar.
Nope.
Until I do the T-handle, correct?
That's correct. So once you release the bolt, I'll have you go ahead and put your red on the grapple bar. And there should be a tether point right next to the bolt you're releasing.
There is one. Affirmative.
This adjustable grapple bar is slightly wider than the width of the pump module itself. One bolt holds it in place on the truss of the International Space Station.
But I need the Carolyn.
Once
Sleep on this one.
Wheelock moves back over with this grapple bar to the failed pump module, it will be installed over 2 pins, 2 receptacles, if you will, on either side of the pump module, and will lock in place to enable the pump module to be removed from its slot once the 4 bolts holding the pump module in place are finally released. That work to be done by Tracy Caldwell Dyson while Wheelock is maneuvering the grapple bar over in place to lock on to the pump module so it can be maneuvered over to the grapple fixture on a stowage bracket on the mobile base system of the truss of the International Space Station, where the failed pump will be stowed in place for an indefinite period of time.
Okay, stop motion, Nader.
Motion.
Hey, Shannon, just a little bit more of a yaw right.
Copy, a little more yaw right. Starting motion.
Okay, stop motion.
Motion.
Okay. Oscar, I'm in position. The grapple bar is fixed, and I've got 2 hands and a red on the pump, and ready for the next set.
Copy, Wheels. Just to confirm, there should be no reds on the grapple bar. Did you get your red off?
I got mine off. TC,
Mine are off.
Copy.
Yes, mine both are off.
Okay, let's check that our tools and tethers are clear, and then we're go for you guys to pull it out.
Where I can see.
Tools and tethers clear other than my red to the pump.
Copy. You got to go for pump module removal.
Hey, copy.
Okay,
I'll be taking you forward away from the truss about 2 meters.
Copy that.
Push on the hand controller. Here we go. Starting motion.
You may want to pitch up a little bit with your car.
Good call, Tracy.
Yeah, you're free of the guide, but not free of the truss yet. Good. Clear of the truss, but not clear of me. Motion. Motion. Okay, I see clearance between jettison storage bag and the pump module.
Hey, copy. I've got about another half a meter or so to go.
Okay. How you doing, Will?
Doing good. Trying to be still with this thing.
Okay, stop the motion.
Okay.
All right, you're just going to have to hang out for a while. Because I need to reconfigure a lot.
Okay.
Good job, Shannon.
Thanks, Tracy. And Oscar, if I'm not mistaken, he's good to rotate in this position, right?
We concur.
Okay, we'll just get to rotate while I am.
Okay. Going nice and slow here.
Hey, Oscar, I'm getting the crew lock bag, aren't I?
Tracy, you're grabbing crew lock bag number 2, and if you can give us a tool inventory when you get that bag.
A shade over 5 hours into today's second spacewalk in the suite of spacewalks to replace the failed pump module. You see the object of attention here firmly in the grasp of Doug Wheelock at the end of the Canadarm2, which is being maneuvered by Shannon Walker from the robotics workstation of the Destiny Laboratory. The pump module, which failed back on July 31st, measures 69 inches by 50 inches by 36 inches, 700 pounds of mass in the hands of Doug Wheelock. 780 pounds of mass.
It'd be a good time to go and stow your 5/8-inch socket on the caddy.
I also put the torque multiplier in there too.
Yeah. Yes, that would be good because you're going to need
Okay,
that.
Shannon,
And Tracy,
you got a good visual on the grapple bar. Good. Go ahead, Oscar.
I'm sorry. And Tracy, you will need the torque multiplier at ESP2, so go ahead and stow that in crew lock bag number 2.
Okay.
And Wills, we're 5 minutes to a night pass.
Okay. Get my visor up here. You gotta give me that right in the middle of hanging on to this thing, Oscar. Thanks.
Sorry, I thought the time would work good before.
Yeah.
Grapple
Okay,
bar
visor's
caught us.
up. Easy one.
And we'll...
Okay, Oscar, my visor's in.
As Doug Wheelock maneuvers the failed pump module over to the payload orbital replacement unit attachment bracket on the mobile base system. Tracy Caldwell Dyson now is free to move over to external stowage platform number 2 and begin the work to prepare the spare pump module for its extraction and eventual installation in a third spacewalk that is planned.
Dropping my safety tether, Oscar.
Copy, Wills.
Airlock safety tethers attached. Gate closed, hook locked, black on black. And my left waist tether is attached to the IRCM.
Copy, Wills.
My 55-foot safety tether is secured back on the, I've folded up the ingress aid, Oscar, so it's flush against the boot plate. And safety tethers, I'm going to kind of put it shielded in sort of like the boot plate area. So stay there, not for me.
That looks good, Wills.
6 hours even into the spacewalk by Wheelock and Caldwell Dyson. Doug Wheelock now back at the S1 truss, making sure he has all of his equipment before Shannon Walker backs the Canadarm2 away. Its job complete for the day. Wheelock then will join Tracy Caldwell Dyson up at the external stowage platform to begin preparing the spare pump for its removal during the next spacewalk. The lead spacewalk officer, David Beaver, now consulting with his team and with flight controllers here in the International Space Station Flight Control Room to see exactly what the tasks would be in the preparatory work for the spare pump module. The desire is to at least do a few get-ahead tasks to conserve time during the third spacewalk when that pump module will be removed from the stowage platform.
Okay.
We do not want to bring the pump jumper bag down. We don't believe there's time to. We were looking at venting the spare down at ESP2. We don't believe we have time for that, so we'll just leave it here and we'll vent the spare up here on S1. So all you're grabbing is the crew lock bag and heading back down to ESP2.
Okay, copy.
Okay, Oscar, I don't know if you guys have helmet cam.
I do.
Okay, I got the, can't tell you how much of a triumph this feels right now, but I have that MLS flap open, logging the pump module, and I'm wondering how to go about getting a ret on that thing back in it. Mainly sharing this while I'm pausing.
Yeah, Tracy, on the top left corner, as you are looking now, there should be a loop on the lid that you can use to ret to hold it open. We saw you attach one end of the ret down to the frame. That looked okay.
Oh, I see. Well, I let go of the one by the frame, but I wasn't quite sure what I was going to do. But I see what they're talking about now, and that'll work.
Right, and we don't think it's going to take much to hold it open. So we think that'd be.
I don't need. Well, right now it's open, and I feel really good about that.
Six hours, 5 minutes into the spacewalk, you just saw a good view of the replacement pump module, the ORU, as the label indicates, Orbital Replacement Unit, or SPARE, one of 4 such spare pump modules residing on the exterior of the International Space Station. This view from the helmet camera for Caldwell Dyson as she works to restrain a thermal cover open on the pump module so that she and Doug Wheelock can begin preparatory work on this spare pump for its extraction from the stowage platform during the next spacewalk.
Okay, Oscar, I got the MLI ready to the frame here.
Copy, Tracy. Next step is to start pulling the tape off. There should be 6 pieces.
Okay.
Should be a little tab.
Yeah. Okay.
And Tracy, we think the easiest thing is to get it most of the way off so it's still captured, and then tether to it, and then take it off the last wrap.
Okay.
Oscar, I'm going to stop here. It looks like my safety tether may have come locked, and so it's bunching up on me, so checking it.
I see,
Sure
Wheels.
enough.
Caldwell Dyson will begin this preparatory work by removing 6 pieces of protective thermal tape from the handrails on the spare pump module. She'll stow those in a trash bag. The pump module will be manually maneuvered over to the S1 truss during the 3rd spacewalk for its installation. No use of the adjustable grapple bar.
And Oscar, are we coming back up to the site? Do I need to release my spare lead on the handrail here, or keep it?
I'm sorry, Wheels. Can you repeat?
Okay, I have a spare lead up here on the nadir rail. Do I need to release that now, or coming back up here?
No, you will not be coming back up. Go ahead and release that, please.
Okay, that's in work.
I really get the sense you're hanging out here from ESP2. Can I see it in my helmet cam?
I'm sorry, what were you saying, Tracy? The tape?
Just a view that... No. From ESP2. I really get the sense that you're hanging out.
Oh, because it's got... Yes,
But, yeah.
I agree. That should be another place we warn people about.
Yeah, something. Man, it hurt. Lots of water. Here, one piece of paper.
Caldwell Dyson admiring the view from 220 miles above the Pacific Ocean as the International Space Station moves from northwest to southeast. In its orbit, inclined 51.6 degrees to either side of the equator, approaching the 6-hour, 10-minute mark in today's spacewalk.
It broke.
Okay, and at what point would you want me to join TC, Oscar, on the starboard side here?
Yeah, Wheels, I'm not sure which side of the ESP2 you want to be in. We're talking about what we want you to do down at ESP2, and I'm checking.
Okay. Okay, I'm on ESP2 now. Just wait for your words.
And Wheels, while Tracy's pulling the tape off, I'm going to have you do brake and torque on the bolt. So wherever you think you're
on
clear.
The front side.
And Tracy should have in her crew lock bag the torque multiplier.
Okay, I'm going to come around the front there.
Paired back together, Caldwell Dyson and Wheelock now will work in tandem once again on the preparation of the spare pump module for its removal from its stowage platform during the next spacewalk.
We want to get as much done as we can.
Caldwell Dyson is removing tape from the spare's handrails, and Doug Wheelock will soon use a pistol grip tool to break torque on 4 bolts holding the spare pump module in place on that stowage platform.
Okay, Oscar coming right through the middle of ESP2.
I see you.
I could fit here.
Oh, I see you. Hey, Will, I'm right at your head here, so let me get my BRT on handrail, and then I think I'll be out of your way.
Hey, Wheels, before you come too far forward, we decided we don't want to leave the rets. See right there by your left hand on the Fram handrail?
Yes.
Yeah, originally we called to have Tracy use the ret to hold the lid open. We now believe we want to use, there's a flap back at the back corner, the aft corner of the lid. It's about halfway down on the pump module MLI on the Zenith side that's used to hold that lid open.
Okay.
So if you move Zenith to your left, you'll see on the top of the MLI, you'll see back behind you, you'll see a flap that's held down. When you open that up, that actually comes back over and velcros onto the lid.
Okay, let me go ahead and get a local on here and I'll take a look. On the Zenith side.
Yep.
Oh, okay, I see a tether loop right there.
You should see a flap. You open that flap up, and that flap will come back and close on top of the lid, and it mates up with Velcro that's on the what is now the top side of the lid when it's open.
Okay. So what, Will? That ret.
The ret that was referred to by spacewalk communicator Oscar Kaler is the acronym for a retractable equipment tether,
For $1.
one of the complement of tools and tethers available for the spacewalkers outside the International Space Station.
Okay, Oscar, let's see.
Yeah, Will, so
Give
see
me that,
see that
now that I got a visual on it.
yeah, that loop that's right there by your right hand. You're going to open that up. That one right there, exactly. You'll pull the lid down on top of that area, and then that will close back over the lid.
Okay, got it.
There should be a corresponding patch of Velcro for that to mate to. I think that's it right there inside by your right hand.
That's right.
Good job, Wills. That was less painful than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It looks like the Velcro is still in decent shape. Okay, do the same thing on the other side probably, yeah?
Nope, I think just that one side will be good enough.
Okay.
So you can go ahead and come forward, and we'll get you on brake and torques.
Okay.
And grab the red as you come forward. That's on the Fram handrail.
Yeah, what's the other end of this connected to?
I think it's hooked.
It's inside here. Oh no, it's actually on top, on that flap.
On the flap?
Yeah,
Okay.
the top left.
Can you figure out if we make sure we didn't just back ourselves into a corner here, Oscar?
No, it's on the outside. Just look around the corner there. I've seen it.
Okay. All right, let me go ahead and get it off here and then...
6 hours, 17 minutes into the spacewalk today by Doug Wheelock and Tracy Caldwell Dyson. The failed pump module that went down because of an apparent electrical short on the night of July 31st is out of the S1 truss and is parked on the payload attachment bracket on the mobile base system of the International Space Station. The big ticket item today was the closing of the valve on a final fluid connector to enable the demating of that last connector, the M3 connector that provided a stubborn farewell. It proved to be a bit stubborn once again today, but did not leak as it did on Saturday, and it was finally closed and demated, and that led to the ability of the two spacewalkers to then press ahead to demate a series of data and electrical connectors and unbolt the failed pump from the S1 truss. It is now parked on a stowage bracket for the payloads on the mobile base system, as Caldwell Dyson and Wheelock have pressed ahead to begin preparations on the spare pump module that resides on a stowage platform, a spare parts platform, adjacent to the Quest airlock of the International Space Station.
Wills and Tracy, once Tracy moves over to do the tape on the port side, that may leave these port side bolts open for you, Wills.
Copy that. At the starboard side bolts. Multiplier, do you still have it on your...
Nope, it's in there.
Okay, copy.
Wills, torque multipliers, and crew lock bag number 2.
Copy.
The torque multiplier is basically an accessory for the pistol grip tool that will enable Wheelock to set the proper torque settings for the braking of the torque on a quartet of bolts that are holding the spare pump module in place on ESP2, the external stowage platform.
Pull it off?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Okay. Careful of this safety tether here. I didn't want to do that. I'm going to just stay a little bit zenith, Oscar, to stay out of deconflicted with Tracy's safety tether.
Copy, Wills.
Is there anything I can do?
No, you're good. take first, Oscar, I need to take the 2-inch off of my BGT, correct? I'm going to do that.
Exactly, Wills. You'll need it back. Oh.
Say again.
Wills, we just want to check. Have you already gotten the torque multiplier out?
No.
Okay.
I have not.
Yeah.
I'm getting that right.
I'll just use mine.
No, Wills, we want to call you off the brake torque based on the time we have. Instead, I think we'll just have you and Tracy work together to get the 3 electricals demated.
Okay.
Once again, we've reacquired a television from the International Space Station. You're looking at the view from the helmet camera of Doug Wheelock inside the Quest airlock. As we near the end of a 15-minute holding period for this decontamination procedure. Once the airlock begins its repressurization, which should be momentarily, they will repress to about 2 pounds per square inch of pressure and then back off on the hatch handle, essentially burping the airlock a bit. That should do the trick in the final steps of this very conservative decontamination process.
You need TC and wheels to take your O2 actuator to press.
It works.
It works.
Easy ones and press.
And Wheels, can I get you to check the hatch MPEV is closed while you're there?
Check closed, verified.
TC, you've got O2 actuator on press, right?
Yes.
Okay, we just didn't hear your call. Thanks.
Oh, I called it.
Okay, copy. I didn't pick up that either. Thanks. Okay, so on step 5, what I'd like to have us do here is just before Shannon gives takes the IV hatch equalization valve to throttle it from off to norm, just to give a mark, and then have Wheels count a couple potatoes. And once that depress starts, he can go ahead and back off the hatch from 60 to 90 degrees like we did the other day. How's that sound?
Copy that.
Okay, Shannon, if you would just let us know when you take the IV hatch equalization valve from off to norm.
Okay, I'm ready. Taking it to norm. 3, 2, 1, norm.
1 potato, 2 potato. Backing it off. Okay, it's backed off 60 degrees, 70 degrees, Vicky.
Okay, copy. Great, thanks. And when we get down to 4.0, guys, you can expect an alert tone. And Shannon, when we get to the crew lock at 5, we're going to hold there. You'll take the valve closed to off.
The repressurization of the Quest airlock is underway. That marks the official end of today's spacewalk at 2:53 p.m. Central Time, with an official duration of 7 hours and 26 minutes. Again, the repressurization of the Quest airlock underway. The spacewalk officially ending at 2:53 p.m. Central Time for a duration of 7 hours, 26 minutes.
And we're going to hang out here 2 minutes for the crew lock pressure to stabilize.
Roger.
And Wheels, once this pressure stabilizes, I'll give you a go to pick up on the ammonia contamination test in step 1.
Okay.
This is Mission Control with some statistics. Again, today's spacewalk concluding at 2:53 p.m. Central Time with the repressurization of the Quest airlock to mark an end to today's spacewalk by Doug Wheelock and Tracy Caldwell Dyson at 7 hours 26 minutes. The 2 spacewalks they have now conducted in support of the pump module replacement activity have totaled 15 hours and 29 minutes.
And all the back rooms as well. The guys who do the real work.
We were smiling as much as you were when M3 finally gave up the ghost.
Oh, man.
Again, Wheelock and Caldwell Dyson now have logged 15 hours and 20 minutes and 29 minutes, 15 hours, 29 minutes and 2 spacewalks. in support of the pump module replacement activities. This was the 241st spacewalk by U.S. astronauts in history. Doug Wheelock, now in 5 spacewalks in his career, has logged 36 hours and 20 minutes of spacewalking time, placing him 27th on the all-time list.
Two engineers as well, to Joel Silva, and to Torrin Watson, and to Monica Greek. Thanks for all your guys' hard work and getting us suited up today.
Good words. Those folks certainly deserve it. Wheels, our crew lock pressure is stable, and we'll go for you to pick up in the contamination cue card in step 1, and we'll follow along. Shannon, just give us a shout. I'm sure you can confirm that IV hatch equalization valve is off, OFF.
OFF.
Okay, Shannon, and then in step 1 there, recording the crew lock pressure, if you would.
5.11.
Okay.
7 Stunden dauerte dieser Außeneinsatz und der nächste steht schon bevor.
Etwas rütteln. Nur mit Mühe bekommt Astronaut Wheelock den Bolzen aus der Verankerung. Die Reparatur im All ist richtige Schufterei, aber unumgänglich. Mit Hilfe eines kräftigen Roboterarms wird die defekte Pumpe des Kühlsystems entfernt. Die NASA-Bodenstation ist zufrieden. Ein erster Versuch, das kaputte Teil abzumontieren, war vor wenigen Tagen noch gescheitert. Aus einem Leck strömte plötzlich giftiges Ammoniak aus. Um die Probleme in den Griff zu bekommen, mussten die Astronauten den längsten Außeneinsatz in der Geschichte der ISS absolvieren. 8 Stunden und 3 Minuten. Und es bleibt immer noch einiges zu tun. Die Astronauten müssen nochmal raus, um die Ersatzpumpe zu installieren. Die ISS verfügt insgesamt über 2 Kühlsysteme. Nach dem Ausfall eines der beiden wurden viele Geräte und Computersysteme auf der ISS abgeschaltet, damit es nicht zu einer Überhitzung kommt. Bald aber soll wieder alles so funktionieren wie bisher.
Diesmal hat es geklappt. Am 31. Juli war die Pumpe eines der beiden Kühlsysteme der Raumstation ausgefallen. Zur Sicherheit mussten einige technische Geräte abgeschaltet werden, um eine Überhitzung zu vermeiden. Mithilfe von Roboterarmen bewegen die beiden Astronauten das Ersatzteil. Es hat in etwa die Größe und die Form einer Badewanne und ist außen am Raumschiff gelagert. Dieses Austauschmanöver ist einer der schwierigsten Einsätze an der ISS. Die Pumpen sind unförmig und die Leitungen sehr fest angeschlossen. Und so scheiterte bereits der erste Versuch, die Pumpe auszutauschen nach einem 8-stündigen Außeneinsatz. Die Reparatur ist noch nicht ganz abgeschlossen, aber dank der zweiten Kühlung laufen die wichtigsten Systeme an Bord normal. Die Besatzung ist nicht gefährdet, heißt es von der NASA in Houston. Trotzdem beruhigend, wenn man weiß, man hat die Handwerker im Haus.
Ein Haufen Schrott in einem Dock in Roslyakowa. Was Arbeiter hier auseinanderschweißen, war einmal der Stolz der russischen Nordmeerflotte. Das Atom-U-Boot Kursk wird im Sommer 2002 seiner letzten Bestimmung zugeführt. Unbeschädigte Teile wollen die russischen U-Boot-Bauer wiederverwerten. Der Rest wandert in die Stahlschmelze. Das letzte Kapitel der Geschichte der Kursk. Einer Geschichte, die die Welt in Atem hielt. Das Drama beginnt am 10. August im Jahr 2000. Vidjajewo, der Marinehafen. Die Mannschaft der Kursk ist bereit zum Auslaufen. Angetreten an Deck, nochmal tief durchatmen, beste Wünsche für die bevorstehende Fahrt. So wie auf diesen Bildern wird sie begonnen haben, die letzte Fahrt der Kursk. Im Nordmeer, genauer in der Barentssee, soll die Kursk an einem Seemanöver teilnehmen. Was genau geübt wird, ist geheim. Die Kursk ist eines der größten U-Boote der Nordmeerflotte, gehört zur sogenannten Oscar-II-Klasse, angetrieben durch 2 Atomreaktoren. Mehr als 100 Mann Besatzung braucht das Schiff und es ist in der Lage, Atomwaffen abzuschießen. Doch diesmal hat die Kursk, wenn man der Marine glauben darf, nur konventionelle Torpedos an Bord. Drei Tage kreuzt das Schiff in der Barentssee. Am Samstag, dem 12. August, kommt es zur Katastrophe. Heute wissen wir, dass mehrere Torpedos an Bord explodieren. Die Kursk geht schwer beschädigt mit der Mannschaft unter. Der Kontakt zum U-Boot reißt ab. Vorerst verheimlichen die Militärs das Unglück. Erst 2 Tage später bringen erste Meldungen an die Öffentlichkeit. Bis dahin hat die Nordmeerflotte Bergungsschiffe zusammengezogen. Doch schlechtes Wetter verhindert Tauchgänge. Die Flotte versucht, die Öffentlichkeit zu beruhigen. Wir stehen in ständigem Kontakt mit der Mannschaft, sagt der Marinesprecher und erzählt von Klopfzeichen Überlebender, die es womöglich nie gegeben hat. Und Sorgen wegen möglicher Radioaktivität versucht der Sprecher des Katastrophenministers mit ein paar Bleistiftstrichen zu zerstreuen. Die Reaktoren wurden abgeschaltet, sagt er. Es kann also nichts passieren. Dass viel passieren kann, wissen die Russen ganz genau. Denn die Kursk ist nicht das erste Atom-U-Boot, das am Meeresgrund liegt. Auch die Komsomolets strahlt vor der Küste Norwegens vor sich hin. Und wie dieses U-Boot liegt jetzt die Kursk in der Tiefe. Möglicherweise mit überlebenden Matrosen, für die die Luft immer dünner wird. Maximal bis Freitag oder Samstag kann der Sauerstoff in der Titanzigarre ausreichen. Noch 5 Tage. Bisher, sagt der Konstrukteur der Kursk, wurden unsere Bemühungen durch das schlechte Wetter behindert. Aber wir hoffen, dass es aufklart. Dann können wir endlich richtig anfangen. Im Prinzip haben wir alles technische Gerät, das wir brauchen. Tatsächlich Wetterbesserung in der Barentssee. Die russische Marine setzt auf eigene Technik. Diese Tauchglocken will sie hinablassen. Bis zu 10 Seeleute könnten pro Tauchgang gerettet werden, theoretisch. Doch die Praxis sieht anders aus. Alle Versuche, mit dem Gerät anzudocken, schlagen fehl. Die Kursk ist zu stark geneigt und die alten Akkus der Glocke machen zu schnell schlapp. Längst hat das Ausland Hilfe angeboten. Norwegische Taucher wollen kommen und auch die britische Marine macht ein Angebot. Ihr Rettungs-U-Boot MR5 soll die Aufgabe lösen können. Besser als die veraltete Technik aus Sowjetzeiten. Doch noch lehnen die Russen hochmütig ab. Zur selben Zeit in Murmansk. Angehörige der Seeleute reisen an. Sie sind es leid, nichts zu erfahren und hoffen hier vor Ort auf mehr Informationen. Was glauben Sie, wie ich mich fühle, sagt diese Frau. Mein Mann ist eingeschlossen und mein Land tut nichts, um ihm zu helfen. Gebete für die Matrosen. Noch ist die Hoffnung groß, Überlebende zu bergen. Aber es bleiben nur noch theoretische 100 Stunden. Angesichts der Bilder verzweifelter Menschen wächst der Druck auf die Regierung. Schließlich willigt Moskau ein und lässt ausländische Hilfe zu. Wertvolle Zeit ist verstrichen. Sofort verlädt die Royal Navy ihr U-Boot und fliegt es an die norwegische Küste. Doch von Trondheim aus muss MR5 den Seeweg zur Unglücksstelle antreten. Norwegische und britische Spezialisten gehen mit an Bord des Transportschiffes, eigentlich ein Fischtrawler. Sonntagmittag vielleicht können Schiff und U-Boot dort sein, mindestens 24 Stunden zu spät. Aber auch ein Team norwegischer Spezialtaucher hat sich auf den Weg gemacht. Die Hilflosigkeit der einstigen Supermacht wird zugleich immer deutlicher. Die Nordmeerflotte ist in der Defensive. Ein Sprecher vor der Presse, er hat keine Informationen und Fragen will er auch nicht beantworten. Vorbereitungen am Rettungs-U-Boot MR5. Die Männer sind sich nicht sicher, ob das Manöver gelingt. Vor allem, ob es gelingt, eine Luke der Kursk zu öffnen. Immer näher kommt das Schiff mit dem Rettungs-U-Boot der Unglücksstelle, doch die Fahrt geht nur quälend langsam voran. Schon eine Woche liegt die Kursk auf Grund, die Frist läuft ab. An der Unglücksstelle sind inzwischen die norwegischen Spezialtaucher eingetroffen. Doch die russische Einsatzleitung lässt sie warten. Erst nach Stunden können die Männer mit den Arbeiten an der zweiten Ausstiegsluke am Heck beginnen, wo die Russen bisher gescheitert waren. Klopfzeichen. Ist dort jemand? Der russische Sender RTR überträgt die Bilder und, wie die Crew an der Wasseroberfläche, verfolgen wohl Millionen Menschen das Geschehen in der Tiefe. Doch es gibt keine Antwort und dieser erste Tauchgang führt nicht zum Erfolg. Die Luke lässt sich nicht bewegen. Die Taucher vermessen alles, dann geht es wieder nach oben.
Водолазы продолжают стучать молотком. Размеры в мастерской. Наши спасатели говорят с колокола и готовятся идти на поверхность лодки.
Auswertung der Filmaufnahmen. Sie zeigen die Verformung der Luke und einen großen Riss. Die Norweger sind sich sicher, sie schaffen es. Die Männer bauen Spezialwerkzeuge in großer Eile, obwohl inzwischen niemand mehr an Überlebende in der Tiefe glaubt. Auch die meisten Angehörigen in Murmansk haben die Hoffnung inzwischen aufgegeben. Endlich hat die Marine auf dem Stützpunkt Wetjewo ein Büro für sie eingerichtet. Die Listen mit den Namen der Matrosen liegen aus, jetzt, nachdem sie schon längst in einer Lokalzeitung nachzulesen waren. Dramatische Szenen gehen um die Welt. Sie sind gefangen in dieser Blechbüchse, schreit diese Mutter. Für ein paar Rubel Sold, dafür habe ich meinen Sohn nicht großgezogen. Draußen auf See. Endlich Gewissheit. Die norwegischen Taucher finden auch hinter der inneren Schleusenluke nur Wasser. Die Besatzung der Kursk ist tot. Das Schiff ist von vorne bis hinten vollgelaufen. Die Rettungsaktion ist zu Ende. MR5 ist nicht mehr zum Einsatz gekommen. Die Männer von der Royal Navy nehmen Abschied von der Kursk-Besatzung. Eine kleine Trauerfeier, ein paar Blumen. Der Kommandeur der Nordmeerflotte Popov übernimmt die Verantwortung. Den Tränen nahe zeigt er seinen Respekt vor den Toten. Und ganz Russland trauert mit. Das Fernsehen zeigt die Besatzung der Kursk. Noch ein letztes Mal ist sie auf ihrem Schiff angetreten.
Gleich geht es weiter. Die Bergung des Atom-U-Bootes Kursk. Eine technische Meisterleistung mit hohem Risiko.
Abschied von den Toten. Ende August 2000 kann die russische Marine den Trauernden nur ein Kursk-Ehrenmal bieten. Dazu ein paar tröstende Worte und wer will, den fährt die Marine raus auf die Barentssee an die Unglücksstelle. Doch nur rund 150 Angehörige wollen hier Abschied nehmen. Viele erwarten, dass die Toten geborgen werden aus ihrem eisigen Grab. Blumen und eine Flasche Wässerchen sollen bis dahin trösten. Es sind die Angehörigen, die als Erste fordern, das Wrack mit den Toten zu bergen. Präsident Putin ist nach Murmansk gereist. Komm wieder, wenn du die Jungs rausgeholt hast, ruft diese Frau in ihrer Wut. Und dann gibt Putin ein Versprechen. Dieses U-Boot, sagt er, werden wir versuchen hochzuholen. Das wird Zeit brauchen, aber wir werden es so schnell wie möglich tun. Putin gibt damit den Startschuss für eine beispiellose Bergungsaktion. Doch die Bergung ist für Russland riskant. Die Marine mauert. Sie behauptet, dass ein fremdes U-Boot mit der Kursk kollidiert sei. Und ob Putin und seine Militärs tatsächlich die Wahrheit ans Licht bringen wollen, ist zweifelhaft. Gerüchte kursieren. Interne Berichte gelangen an die Öffentlichkeit. Peinlich für die russische Marine, wenn sie tatsächlich ihr eigenes U-Boot versenkt haben sollte. Am besten wäre es also für die Marine, nur die Toten zu bergen. Taucher trainieren bereits an einem baugleichen Schiff, wie man ins Innere der Kursk gelangt. Und jeder der Taucher hat eine Schweigeverpflichtung unterschrieben. Der Plan wird Realität. Nordmeerflottenchef Popov persönlich überwacht die Aktion. Und auch Angehörige sind dabei. Was genau die russischen Marinetaucher in 108 Metern Tiefe vorfinden, das bleibt verborgen. Wackelige Bilder geben keinerlei Aufschluss über eine mögliche Unglücksursache. Aber hinter einer Luke in der hinteren Sektion finden die Taucher die ersten toten Seemänner. Doch nur 4 von 118 Toten werden zu Grabe getragen. Für die Angehörigen gibt es nun schreckliche Gewissheit. Ein Abschiedsbrief belegt, ein Teil der Mannschaft hat die Explosion auf der Kursk zunächst tatsächlich überlebt. Ein halbes Jahr verstreicht. Russland hat nun doch eine belgische Firma mit der Bergung der Kursk beauftragt. 65 Millionen $ lässt die Regierung sich das Unternehmen kosten. Im Juni ist es dann soweit. Die Spezialisten präsentieren einen unglaublichen Plan. Über der Unglücksstelle wird ein Bergungsponton verankert. Der Teil der Kursk, der Aufschluss über das Unglück geben kann, soll erst einmal unter Wasser bleiben. Den Bug, in dem möglicherweise noch Torpedos lagern, wollen die Spezialisten nämlich mit einer gewaltigen Unterwassersäge abtrennen. 26 gigantische Stahltrossen werden dann hinabgelassen und in eigens dafür gebohrten Löchern in der Außenhaut des Kolosses verankert. Wie eine Fahrstuhlkabine soll die Kursk dann nach oben schweben. Aberdeen Anfang Juli. Taucher testen an Bord des Bergungsschiffs Mayo ihr Equipment. Wenig später läuft die Mayo aus. Es geht zur Unglücksstelle. Die Operation hat begonnen. Zur gleichen Zeit im russischen Sewerdwinsk. In Tag- und Nachtschichten schweißen Arbeiter den Bergungsponton zusammen. Die Zeit drängt. Soll das Unternehmen vor den Herbststürmen über die Bühne gehen, dann darf keine Zeit verloren werden. Wie sorglos Russland mit seinem Atomschrott umgeht, das bekommt die internationale Presse noch einmal vor Augen geführt. Die Marine lädt zum Ausflug ein, an die Unglücksstelle. Doch erst müssen Journalisten an den traurigen Resten russischer Militärschiffe vorbei. Es gibt etliche wie diese, die noch Nuklearmaterial enthalten. Mitte Juli präsentieren die Militärs neue Filmaufnahmen aus der Tiefe. Sie zeigen die Verwüstungen der ersten Sektion. Explosives oder strahlendes Material, Torpedos, soll es hier vorne nicht mehr geben, sagt die Marine. Doppelt habe man den Bereich gecheckt, mit Robotern und Tauchern keine Gefahr. Doch viele Kritiker bezweifeln, dass alles problemlos verläuft. Was passiert, wenn der Rumpf beim Anheben auseinanderbricht? Was, wenn doch noch Sprengköpfe in der ersten Sektion der Kursk lagern? Kann der Name Kursk nun auch noch zum Synonym für eine atomare Katastrophe werden? Doch Marine- und Bergungsunternehmen lassen sich nicht beirren. Eine Flasche Krimsekt soll dem Unternehmen Glück bringen. Es wird höchste Zeit für den Stapellauf der Bergungspontons, die die Plattform Giant vortragen sollen. Alle haben hart gearbeitet, damit die Teile fertig werden. Und auch die Vorbereitungen vor Ort laufen auf Hochtouren. Die letzten Spezialisten werden an Bord des Tauchschiffs Mayo geflogen, das in der Barentssee über dem Wrack vor Anker liegt. Zu diesem Zeitpunkt machen die Taucher unter Wasser schon einen Knochenjob. Mit Schneidbrennern trennen sie große Löcher in die Außenhaut der Kursk. Die sollen später die Stahltrossen aufnehmen. Pause an der Oberfläche. In solchen Druckkammern leben die Taucher die meiste Zeit. Nur eiserne Disziplin kann Gesundheitsschäden verhindern. Kontakt nach draußen nur per Telefon. Trotzdem ist die Laune gut. Es gibt ein anständiges Schmerzensgeld für den Job. Bei schwerer See sehen die Taucher nichts und die ohnehin schon schwierigen Arbeiten müssen immer wieder unterbrochen werden. Immerhin gelingt es nach einigen Schwierigkeiten, den Bug abzusägen und die Stahltrossen zu verankern. Es ist Anfang Oktober 2001. Die Bergungscrew ist bereit. Die Kursk ist mit den Trossen verbunden. Alles ist vorbereitet. Auch das Wetter, das so wichtig ist für dieses Unternehmen, scheint mitzuspielen. Die Bergung kann beginnen. Es geht los. Die Kursk schwebt nach oben, ohne den abgesägten Bug. Andere Bilder als diese vom Anheben der Kursk veröffentlicht die Marine nicht. Wir müssen glauben, dass alles so glatt gelaufen ist wie auf diesem Trickfilm. Radioaktivität tritt offenbar nicht aus. Das bestätigen auch internationale Messstationen. Die Kursk, wenige Meter unter der Wasseroberfläche, tritt nun endgültig ihre letzte Reise an. In Schleichfahrt geht es durch den Murmansk-Fjord, beschützt durch Kriegsschiffe. Denn das U-Boot birgt noch immer eines der brisantesten Militärgeheimnisse Russlands. Im Bergungsponton fährt die Kursk ins Dock und wird vorsichtig auf 3 Böcke gesetzt. Erneut prüfen nun Taucher den Zustand des Wracks und messen die Radioaktivität. Doch die Fahrt hat der Kursk offenbar nicht geschadet. Die Reaktoren verlieren keine Strahlung. Wenig später ist es soweit. Nach fast 15 Monaten in der eisigen Dunkelheit der Barentssee taucht die Kursk auf. Es fällt wieder Licht auf den Turm des U-Bootes. Ob damit auch Licht auf die Ursache der Katastrophe fällt? Eine Untersuchungskommission geht an Bord, um einen ersten Eindruck zu bekommen. Die Ermittlungen leitet Generalstaatsanwalt Ustinov. Und der präsentiert wenig später eine makabre Videoshow. Fast 8 Minuten lang führt Ustinov die russischen Fernsehzuschauer durch das Wrack. Die Kamera zeigt, was die Wucht der Explosion übrig gelassen hat. 8000 Grad, so erklärt Ustinov, haben hier in den ersten Sektionen geherrscht. Eine Gluthölle, aus der es kein Entkommen gab. Maximal 8 Stunden hat es gedauert, bis die Kursk vollgelaufen ist. Doch die 23 Männer, die sich in die hinteren Sektionen geflüchtet hatten, seien schon vorher an Kohlenmonoxidvergiftung gestorben. Was die Explosion auslöste, Ustinov lässt es noch immer im Dunkeln. Experten beginnen mit der Abrüstung der Kursk. Flügelraketen für atomare und konventionelle Sprengköpfe, zum Teil in den Torpedoschächten verkeilt. Die Sprengköpfe müssen sie zuerst herausschneiden, nur konventionelle, sagt die Marine. Auch die Atomreaktoren werden gesichert. Immer tiefer dringen die Experten in das Wrack und bergen die sterblichen Überreste der Seeleute. Nun können die meisten Angehörigen endlich Abschied nehmen und ihre Lieben in den Heimatorten beisetzen. Präsident Putin hat Wort gehalten. Doch noch immer quält die Frage, warum? Und wäre das Unglück vielleicht vermeidbar gewesen? Und wer trägt die Schuld am Tod der Seeleute? Auch Nordmeerflottenchef Popov ehrt seine Männer. Für ihn wird die Kursk-Katastrophe schon bald Konsequenzen haben. Denn Putin hat offenbar nicht vor, die Wahrheit zu vertuschen. Nach einem Treffen mit dem Präsidenten bestätigt Marinechef Kurojedow die Entlassung der höchsten Militärs der Nordmeerflotte. Auch Popov wird degradiert. Offizielle Begründung: Mängel bei der Vorbereitung des Manövers, bei dem die Kursk explodierte. Hinter den Kulissen tobt ein Kampf um die Wahrheit. Die Marine fürchtet einen schweren Imageschaden, wenn die Unglücksursachen bekannt werden. Und das wäre wohl unumgänglich, wenn auch der Bug der Kursk geborgen würde. Weitere Monate verstreichen. Es ist Juni 2002. Putin hat sich nicht beirren lassen. Wieder hat ein Tauchschiff in der Barentssee geankert. Und diesmal bergen die Tauchroboter den Bug. Die Trümmerteile sind auf dem Meeresboden verteilt. Stück für Stück werden sie lokalisiert und an die Oberfläche gebracht, um den Grund für die schwere Explosion zu finden. Wenige Tage darauf ist es soweit. Staatsanwalt Ustinov bestätigt, was Experten schon längst vermuten. Die Katastrophe wurde durch die Detonation eines Torpedos vom Typ 6576A verursacht, sagt er. Ein veraltetes Modell. Weitere Konsequenzen hat der Bericht Ustinows nicht. Es gibt keine Anklagen, niemand ist schuld am Tod der 118 Menschen. Als Beleg präsentiert Ustinow die Trümmerteile vom Meeresboden. Sie sollen weiterer Legendenbildung vorbeugen. Moskau, Ende Juli. Der offizielle Schlussstrich. Generalstaatsanwalt Ustinow bringt den Bericht zu Präsident Putin. Putin lobt den Untersuchungschef. Alle Spezialisten, Militärs, Konstrukteure, Wissenschaftler haben mir gesagt, es hat in der Geschichte der Marine niemals eine solch objektive und umfassende Untersuchung einer Katastrophe gegeben. Nach der Schmach des Untergangs erntet Putin nun Lorbeeren für Bergung und Aufklärung. Die Reste des Kolosses werden derweil entsorgt, alle Spuren vernichtet. Es ist die offizielle Geschichte der Kursk, die in Erinnerung bleibt.
At Graveyard lie the remains of some of the 118 crew members who were killed. Men lost in one of the greatest tragedies in the history of the Russian Navy. In August 2000, the nuclear-powered Kursk, the largest attack submarine ever built, sailed out to take part in an exercise. But disaster soon struck. It took 3 days before the families of those on board were told by the authorities something was wrong. But they were assured that all the crew was still alive. The Navy's attempts to launch a rescue mission were shambolic and had been delayed by a serious breach of the most basic procedures in case of an emergency.
The alarm is automatically raised 1 hour after a missed radio report by any submarine. The Kursk missed its first scheduled radio report at 1 p.m, then 3 p.m, and then 6, and the Navy only declared the submarine lost at 11:30 p.m.
The Kursk lay at the bottom of the Barents Sea for 10 days before a Norwegian rescue team finally reached it. But everyone was already dead. The wreckage showing it had been torn apart by one of its own torpedoes, which had malfunctioned and exploded on board. It was only possible to hold the funerals a year and a half later, when all the bodies had been retrieved from the sea. So now, 10 years after this tragedy, of course, one of the key questions is whether the Russian Navy has learned from the many mistakes made at that time. And one thing does seem clear: at least now it is prepared to call for international assistance much more quickly in the case of a major emergency. Richard Galpin, BBC News.
Ukrainian firefighters are scrambling to contain fires threatening 2 key nuclear sites. More than 3,000 people are battling fires near a nuclear research centre in eastern Russia. Well, a separate blaze is burning just 60 kilometres from the site of the Chernobyl disaster. Well, there are fears fires near the contaminated forest surrounding Chernobyl could send radioactive particles into the air. Senior international correspondent Matthew Chance joins me now from CNN Moscow. And Matthew, how real is the threat of radioactivity?
Well, it depends on who you believe, Anna. Certainly there's a lot of speculation around at the moment about the prospect of these areas that were contaminated back in 1986 by the Chernobyl disaster being set on fire, and that stirring up the contaminated soil and spreading carcinogenic particles around the region. According to the Russian Emergency Situation Ministry and their counterparts in Ukraine, where Chernobyl is located, that's not the case at the moment. They're saying there have not been any fires of significance in the areas that have been contaminated by the fallout from Chernobyl. The nearest one that we can make out is in the town of Lavin, which is 100 kilometers, 60 miles or so from the Chernobyl disaster zone. It was a very small fire, according to the Ukrainian emergency workers, and it was quickly extinguished. At the same time, there are a lot of firefighters that have been deployed around the areas that have been contaminated, particularly in the Russian regions like Bryansk, which was heavily contaminated back in 1986 upon the fallout from Chernobyl, just to make sure that these fires do not take hold and do not pose the kind of public health threat that is being feared, of course, in this speculation at the moment. Again, the authorities saying that this is not a real threat at the moment, but it is a very real concern, Anna.
And Matthew, I believe that President Medvedev has lifted the state of emergency in 3 of 7 regions in Russia. So what does that say about the situation overall?
Well, I think it tells us that in many areas of western and central Russia where these fires are concentrated, the fires are still very intense, and it's still a big battle for the tens of thousands of firefighters that have been deployed there to keep them under control and to stop them from spreading further. Indeed, we're hearing from EMACOM, the Russian Emergency Situations Ministry, that even though there's been an overall improvement in terms of the area covered by these fires, it's down 25% in the past 24 hours, there are still hundreds of wildfires and peat bog fires that are raging in various parts of western and central Russia. So the battle is still being fought, and it's not over yet, Anna.
Still an enormous job ahead. Matthew Chance in Moscow, we appreciate that update. Thank you very much. Well, let's now get the latest on conditions in Russia with our Murray Ramos, who joins us from the International Weather Centre. Murray.
Hey, Anna, just to follow up on a couple of things that Matthew just mentioned there. When it comes to these fires, you can actually see them from space. I've been showing you these images, and the satellite actually is able to pick up all of these hot spots. And these are the hot spots. And there's, like you said, hundreds of fires that are burning. As we know, there's at least 56 large-scale fires that are burning across Russia. And it's very obvious when you look at the satellite image. But when we zoom in, you can see really how widespread and how far away some of these are from each other. Moscow was getting so much smoke when the wind was blowing in that direction is because of this large pocket of fires right over here just to the east of them. One of the areas of concern when it comes to that nuclear arsenal, the Russian nuclear arsenal, is in this area right in here. As you can see, there are no fires close enough to this area as of right now. The concern, of course, would be that if it does get into these areas that could be contaminated by radiation from other accidents, for example, right over here by Chernobyl, what could happen is the radioactive isotopes that are absorbed by the plants would eventually be burned and then come up and be in the smoke or the ashes. So that's the concern. That hasn't happened as far as we know, but I wanted to show you where the fires are located. Moscow looking with generally clear skies right now, which is actually a little good news, and we saw that with Matthew just a minute ago. 32 the temperature in Moscow. This is the coolest we've seen it in quite a long time. Maybe you'll go up another degree or two, but definitely quite a change with that area of high pressure cooling down now and moving away, allowing a little bit more moisture to come in. So let's go ahead and head back to you now.
I don't think that we're going to see any rain at all until Tuesday, maybe just a little bit. But look at the temperatures. Temperatures have cooled down a little bit. This should be the high of the day. We're in the dead of the night, and it's the low temperature, right? 22 degrees. But it's a change, and we have seen, this is the blocking high that I was talking about. Normally, for 2 weeks there, it's been more than 5 weeks, and we have temperatures above that mark of 40 degrees or above 38, 39 degrees. But we have seen a slight change, and it's continued to affect the area for over 31 days. You see a month of temperatures over 30 degrees when it should be only 22 degrees. So we're seeing just a little bit of an improvement, but look at the temps. They are descending a little bit, but they're still way above average.
All right, thanks. Barack Obama is working to convey his commitment to the Gulf Coast cleanup. He's spending the weekend there with his family. Mr. Obama also took a dip in the waters off Florida with his daughter to encourage tourists to return to the area. In northern
Opferverbände haben US-Präsident Barack Obama scharf für seine Äußerungen zum umstrittenen Bau einer Moschee in unmittelbarer Nähe des Ground Zero in New York kritisiert. Der US-Präsident gerät innenpolitisch immer stärker unter Druck und rudert jetzt zurück.
Genau hier soll die höchst umstrittene Moschee entstehen, nur wenige Meter vom Ground Zero entfernt. Dass sich nun auch der Präsident in die Diskussion um den Bau eingemischt hat, hat ihm nicht unbedingt gut getan. Bei Ankunft zum Familienurlaub in Florida Rechtfertigungen. In diesem Land wird jeder gleich behandelt, ganz gleich, welche Rasse oder welcher Religion er angehört. Aber ich habe und ich werde auch nicht dazu Stellung nehmen, für wie weise ich die Entscheidung halte, am Ground Zero eine Moschee zu errichten. Obama unter Druck, und der lässt sich auch im trauten Familienidyll nicht wegjubeln. Der Präsident steckt nun genau in der Debatte, die er eigentlich seit Wochen vermeiden wollte, und muss sich der Kritik stellen. Die kommt vor allem von Opferverbänden und Politikern aus dem konservativen Lager. Der Präsident hätte Folgendes sagen sollen: Die muslimische Gemeinde hat das Recht, eine Moschee zu bauen, aber sie muss auch mit den Opferfamilien sprechen. Und von denen können nur wenige die Entscheidung verstehen, unweit der Katastrophenstelle mit mehr als 3000 Opfern eine Moschee zu errichten. Sie wäre nur 2 Blocks von Ground Zero entfernt. Das ist unsensibel. Der Präsident gerät in diesem Sommer innenpolitisch zunehmend unter Druck. Denn auch im Zusammenhang mit dem Krisenmanagement in Sachen Ölkatastrophe lasten ihm Kritiker Fehler an. Er habe sich viel zu lange auf die Angaben von BP verlassen. Um zu zeigen, dass zumindest hier die Lage wieder unter Kontrolle ist, genehmigt er sich gemeinsam mit Tochter Sascha ein Bad, ganz medienwirksam, im Golf von Mexiko.
Ganz bewusst demonstriert er vergnüglichen Badespaß. Barack Obama planscht an diesem Wochenende mit Tochter Sascha im Golf von Mexiko. Doch mitten im Werbetermin für die von der Ölpest gebeutelte Region holte den Präsidenten ein ganz anderes Thema ein. Kurz vor seinem Urlaub hatte sich Obama bei einem Dinner im Weißen Haus erstmals zum umstrittenen Moscheebau an New Yorks Ground Zero geäußert. Als Bürger und als Präsident glaube ich daran, dass Muslime ihre Religion ausüben dürfen. So wie jeder andere auch in diesem Land. Und das schließt auch das Recht ein Gemeindezentrum und eine Gebetsstätte im Süden von Manhattan zu bauen. Worte, die als Zustimmung interpretiert wurden und einen Sturm der Entrüstung auslösten. Es ist wohl das Dümmste, was ein amerikanischer Präsident je gesagt hat. Intellektuell gesehen mag Obama recht haben, aber hier geht es um Emotionen. Er bringt Schande über meine Kinder und alle anderen, die an dem Tag ermordet wurden. Obama hat seine Sensibilität verloren. 2 Straßenblocks entfernt von der Stelle, an der das World Trade Center am 11. September 2001 von islamistischen Terroristen zum Einsturz gebracht wurde, soll das muslimische Gemeindezentrum gebaut werden. 13 Stockwerke hoch mit einer Moschee, einer Bibliothek, Restaurants und einem Mahnmal für die Opfer der Anschläge vom 11. September. Selbst die sonst so liberalen New Yorker sind gespalten. Religionsfreiheit ist doch wichtig und vielleicht können die Menschen ja etwas über den Islam hier lernen. Es streut Salz in die Wunden der Opfer. Die können das Zentrum doch überall bauen. Warum hier? Zu hart die Kritik, zu sensibel das Thema? Obama jedenfalls rudert zurück. Ich habe ja nie gesagt, dass es klug ist, dort eine Moschee zu bauen, sondern lediglich, dass Menschen grundsätzlich das Recht dazu haben. Das erwarten sie auch von unserem Wertesystem. Ein Sommerurlaub, den er sich kaum leisten kann. Der einst strahlende Präsident verliert zunehmend seinen Glanz. Unglückliche Auftritte bei der Ölpest am Golf, ungeschickte Formulierungen in der Moscheedebatte und ein unzufriedenes Volk. Obamas Umfragewerte sind derzeit im Keller. Wenn er das Tief überwinden will, muss er seine alte Form wiederfinden.
Well, these days, advertisements placed on buses and trains are so ever-present that the average commuter may be likely to forget that they're there at all. Until that is this week, when in New York, a controversial ad opposing a planned Islamic center near a mosque near Ground Zero was given the green light. So with all the details, Mary Snow joins me now from CNN New York. Mary.
Hi, Fanula. Well, as you know, plans to build an Islamic community center and mosque near Ground Zero have cleared all legal hurdles. But now an opponent is hoping a new ad campaign on city buses will stir more debate and eventually block the plans. Pamela Geller is a conservative blogger. She belongs to a group calling itself Stop Islamization of America. She filed a lawsuit against the MTA, the city's agency overseeing buses and trains, citing freedom of speech to run these ads. And as you see it there on the screen, on one side it shows a plane about to hit the World Trade Center on 9/11 with flames in the background. On the other side, what she calls the World Trade Center, in her words, mega mosque, questioning why there. Now, while the MTA okayed the use of the ads, Geller's lawsuit claims that the agency initially objected to the 9/11 image being used. Geller, though, doesn't see any issue with it.
I think that that's a piece of American history. Do they get upset with Pearl Harbor or Iwo Jima? I mean, if this is offensive, if just showing an image of 9/11 is offensive, then what is a 15-story mega mosque looking down on the cemetery where they're still finding human remains?
Problem is that's not an accurate picture. The actual site is not adjacent to Ground Zero. It's 2 blocks away from it, and the mosque within will be one part of a larger community center that will also include a performing arts center and gym. Now, one Muslim group questioning the motives of these ads is the Islamic Circle of North America.
This is being orchestrated on a national level through campaigns such as this. The type of campaigns that we run are to promote tolerance and dialogue. These are the complete opposite. They promote fear and hatred.
Now, Azim Khan says what's concerning him is seeing protests in other parts of the country. One recently at a planned mosque site in California, another recently in Connecticut. Now, his group in recent years has been running ads here in New York City and other cities across the U.S. trying to educate people about Islam. Vanula?
How long is this story going to run, or this issue going to run? Has it really got the potential to become an all-defining, all-encompassing national issue?
You know, Finola, it's a very good question because this really has been gaining momentum, and I can tell you here in New York, this controversy continues to grow. As we said, the legal hurdles have all been cleared, but there are certainly groups coming forward or individuals coming forward voicing opposition. A new CNN Opinion Research Corporation poll, in fact, found about 70% of Americans questioned about it say they oppose this Islamic center being built near Ground Zero. So this is certainly something that is not going away anytime soon. And as you've seen, there have been a number of protests at certain sites around the country.
Mary Snow at CNN New York, thanks very much indeed.
Sure.
Well, the holy month of Ramadan begins on Wednesday. It will be strictly observed by millions of Muslims around the world. As well as giving followers the chance to get closer to God, Ramadan obliges them to go without food, drink, smoking and sex from sunrise to sunset. Palestinian men are marking the first day by reading the Quran at the Al-Omri Mosque in Gaza City. The month is the time for celebration, and much of that is spent during the night when the faithful break their fast. In Lebanon, Muslims wake up overnight for the last meal before the day's long fast. And in Indonesia, home to the world's largest Muslim population, a woman reads the Quran to a young boy. You're watching World